Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. In this video we're going to take a quick look at what the Cardano price is doing. I'll give you a technical analysis update, and we also take a brief look at what the Bitcoin price is doing. Tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow are the two big days for Cardano. I think a lot of interesting things will be announced during that summit. Personally, I wouldn't expect too much. I always try to expect a little bit less and then be pleasantly surprised if something really great will be announced. I know that they already said something great will be announced, but I still always think I'd rather be, have low expectations and then be pleasantly surprised during that summit. I personally will join in the virtual world. I want to spend some time with my family on the weekends because I'm so busy during the week. I think that is very important, and the kids are excited as well. They think it will be a video game, which of course it isn't, but we're going to hunt for some NFTs. I don't have no idea how this is going to work, but we'll have a look. And then, hopefully let me know in the comments if you are going to join the virtual world as well. And if you really like this channel and the content, please make sure that you subscribe, you hit the like button, and also consider checking out my second channel in the description, which is about technical analysis, and I teach a lesson there every day. And if you really like the channel, it would be great if you consider becoming a member, where you can then get some closer interaction with the other members in chats, and there are some more extras as well. Let's start with Bitcoin here. Coinbase chart on the 1 hour chart. Today we dropped quite strongly. For me, that was not a great surprise. I talked about this potential drop in the last few videos. Yes, people always talk about, it was China. Well, maybe to some degree, but I always think that the news always come afterwards, right? So people always go back and then look for the news. Anyway, that's my personal point of view, because I really believe in the power of these charts and technical analysis itself. So the fundamental reasons behind certain moves are secondary for me. So what do we have here? We actually dropped down to that descending trend line, which I said we would be hitting, and we went back to the 42,000 level, which I was quite sure in the previous video as well. I said we are going to get back to the 42,000 level because why? Because we bounced back out of the Bollinger Band, out of the lower band, and whenever that happens, you can clearly see it here. We bounced out of that lower band. Whenever that happens, you have to snap back in, and it happened pretty much to the 42,000 level. We are currently forming a small triangle here. This is a breakout formation. Something is going to happen very soon, either to the upside or the downside. In this, I think it doesn't matter too much. That won't be a great breakout. It's only a small triangle formation here, and we are still trading in that descending wedge, which is actually a bullish pattern. So we have that forming here. You can see that it's a very steep one actually, but it is a descending wedge, which you can clearly see, and it's actually a breakout formation that which we should break out to the upside. It regularly happens more often than not that we break out of a descending triangle to the upside, but for some reason, I still think we haven't seen the low yet. I still think we might go down once more to 37,500. That doesn't need to be today. We could see that move to the upside out of that descending wedge, maybe part of that triangle breakout that we see now, potentially break out to the upside and then have another break to the downside. Still think we haven't seen it yet. I could be wrong. Doesn't matter too much in the end. We've seen the targets already. We hit them. Also with Cardano, we also came down already to the pretty much close to the 185 target level that I gave you in many videos before. And I still think we are in this ABC correction based on the Elliott Wave method. And from here at some point in this area, I think we're getting very close to the bottom. We saw that on the RSI already. We start to see that downward momentum slowing down, and I still think we might go down a little bit more, but then we will continue our move to the upside. I still believe that, and I will stick with my scenario, with my primary scenario that I talked about before, and I'm not going to change that until I see a really massive breakout to the upside, which is of course positive. Then we will have already seen that C correction here, but I still think we could go down once more, and I'm going to talk about why in a second. We can still see that beautiful dragon pattern play out here. Little joke here of course, but that beautiful pattern playing out here. Now actually what we are in also with Cardano is that descending wedge, which is a bullish pattern, but we are already trading above it. slightly. This is currently actually a support line, because what happened when Bitcoin actually dropped down to that descending trend line, the equivalent on the Bitcoin chart, Cardano actually only went halfway down pretty much and bounced back to the upside very soon. And that is very interesting. I didn't expect that. I would have thought it is following Bitcoin, but yeah, Cardano proved to be very strong here, and that's pleasant to see. Where many people always complained about Cardano, but in this case it was certainly very strong, and it's currently trading above 220. It's above that 218 level that I have here on the chart, also above that descending trend line, so looking a bit better and more prepared for a potential move to the upside. That's certainly interesting. We are also, well, pretty much at the 50 level, so the market is very, you know, indecisive about, are we actually here on the 4-hour chart in the bullish range or the bearish range? Well, we're just in the middle actually, so we might actually, you know, it all depends. What you can see here, we were for the last few days or the last few weeks, we actually were in the bearish range on the 4-hour chart, and whenever we managed to get above the 50, which we are today as well, we then crashed down again. So again, I still have to say, even though it's looking better than Bitcoin, I still have to say I think we'll get down once more to the 185 level, maybe even slightly lower, between 175 185, before we then, and I showed you the Elliott Wave chart in the previous video, before we then move to continue that major move 3 to the upside that we have already started, and we have to finish it. And then we get to a price target of at least 450 in that third wave, before we have a wave 4 correction, and then continue our move 5 move to the upside. But yeah, certainly in the next few months I expect a price of at least 450, at least based on the current scenario. So I still expect from here a move to the downside, but you know, tomorrow there could be so many surprises. We haven't really seen a price increase before that summit. There could be really things that surprise people, at which point potentially Cardano could really decouple itself from Bitcoin. That would be very interesting to see, because, you know, if there is something really unexpected and really nice, I think that people don't expect, then we could see ourselves getting up, and that all depends on what's going to happen in the next few days. But personally, I still think primarily we're going to go down once more before we continue that major move to the upside. And that's really the update today. Continue to watch the dragon here, or the monster of Loch Ness, or however you want to call it, and then we're going to talk tomorrow, and I can't wait for that summit. And it's all good, you know, it's all good. We are, even though we are in this, you know, move to the downside at the moment, this is all part of a major move to the upside, a major wave 3, where you had a major wave 1, a wave 2, and we are still in wave 3. This is not finished yet because we've come down too far. We still have to complete wave 3, so can't wait for it, and we'll see. So let me know if you have any questions. What are you going to do tomorrow in the summit? Are you going anywhere? Are you attending virtually? Are you not doing anything? And then I hope I'll see you in the next video, and maybe at the virtual summit. Bye.